What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I don't want you to miss out on any future videos. That's the main thing. We want you to make sure that you're getting notified of all the new videos we're dropping. That's 3 a week right now. So we're dropping a bunch of great content on the channel. Appreciate you guys, as always, tuning in and hitting the subscribe and always liking and commenting and everything. It really helps us out. It helps the channel grow. So always appreciate all you guys in the comments every video. It's the fall time of the year already. It's crazy to think, but the days are getting shorter. The nights are getting a little bit cooler. So it's kind of transitioning into that fall bite. And that can be a really tough time of year. So I'm gonna bring you guys 3 of my favorite tips. 3 tips that'll help you guys this fall, help you guys catch some more fish, and hopefully enjoy fall fishing a little bit more than you previously have. So, man, like I said, fall fishing can be really tough, but you can have some of your best days in the fall. You have the lake to yourself. As it starts getting later in the year, all of the pleasure boaters put their boats away, so the lake's nice and calm. And probably half of the bass fishermen are in the woods hunting deer. So you got a lot more open water, and you can have a lot of fun in the fall. So I'm gonna give you guys a few tips, like I said, and let's just jump in and start with number 1. All right, guys, number 1 tip for fall bass fishing, it's gonna be downsize your baits. The bass start really keying in on that bait fish that was hatched this year in the spring, at the shad spawn, whether it was April, May, June, whatever the shad may spawn in your area of the country. But they start getting really keyed in on that year's hatch of shad, which are real small little bait fish. So downsizing your baits, whether that be, like I got here, a 1/4 ounce rattle trap. It's a great way to imitate that small bait fish in the fall. Downsizing your crankbaits. This is a 1.0 Bill Lewis ATV crankbait right here. Or even, on your spinner baits. I think I got a spinner bait out, yeah. So like even downsizing the size of blades on your spinner baits, just downsizing everything, just making it all look like smaller profile shad. That's gonna be a great way to get a few more bites in the fall. You could still catch fish on those bigger profile baits, don't get me wrong. But anytime you can downsize and imitate or mimic that forage that the fish are really keyed in on, I feel like you're gonna better your chances. They're so keyed in on that small bait that when they see a bigger bait, they're like, wait a minute, that's not exactly what I'm eating. But if you can trick them and have a bait that looks very similar to what they're eating, it's definitely gonna put the odds in your favor and help you get a few more bites. So downsizing your baits, number 1 key. But this goes across the board. I mean, it's not just hard baits, it's every single bait that you throw. The smaller, the better in the fall, because, like I said, the fishing's gonna be tougher. So having a small bait that imitates exactly what they're eating, it's going to put the odds in your favor to get a few more bites and help you catch a few more fish. So downsize everything. Downsize your crankbaits, downsize your buzz baits, downsize your frogs, spinner baits, plastics, you name it. Downsize, imitate that smaller stuff, and it's going to help you catch a few more fish in the fall of the year. Okay, so the second tip I got for fall fishing is, so this is more of a location tip. And that's, finding where all the shad are. I mean, you can kind of see behind us, there's shad flicking everywhere. So you want to find those locations where all that shad is congregated. And generally speaking, in the fall time of year, the shad start moving to the backs of creeks. And, they kind of funnel back in there. There's a little bit of flow coming in the back of those creeks, some fresh water, some nutrients, stuff like that. And there's a really cool way that you can do this and narrow down the locations and find these areas really just from your phone. I mean, this is super cool. So, I use the Deep Dive app. Okay, let's pull it up here. So on the Deep Dive app, there is a feature that is water inflows. So you can look at the body of water that you're on, and it shows all the places that have creeks running in the back of them. And the cool part about it is there's a filter on there. So you can kind of filter and see the ones that have a higher flow rate. So that's exactly how I found this location we're at right now. I looked on my deep dive app, I found and narrowed down the creeks that have a bigger flow of water coming in the back. I wanted the higher flow rate coming into the back of these creeks because I know those shad are going to be pushing back there and they're going to be looking for that fresh water, the nutrients that are flowing in the back of this creek. So you can do all that right here on the phone on the deep dive app, and you can filter out, and now I have a visual of 3, 4, 5 creeks that I can run up in this river, and they're all going to be very similar to this. And odds are somewhere in one of these creeks there's going to be a bunch of bass that followed this bait fish in here, and you're going to catch a few more fish. So like I said, location tip here, but it's really easy to find all this bait fish in the fall. You know, a lot of guys struggle with this, but the deep dive app really saves me a bunch of time and helps me narrow down those areas and find them really quick while I'm out here on the water. So if you guys are interested in trying the deep dive app, there's a link in the description. Check it out, let me know what you think. But that's tip number 2, location to find all the shad in the fall. And in turn, those bass are going to be chasing those shad, eating all that bait that they're piled in the back of these creeks. All right guys, so the third tip for fall fishing is, it's kind of a combo tip. You want to cover a bunch of water and be patient. You know, the fishing in the fall is really tough, so you have to cover a lot of water to find them and find some active fish. And you really got to cover a bunch of water, a bunch of shoreline, a bunch of targets to catch a good number of fish in the fall. You know, like I said, it is generally fishing pretty tough. So you want to make sure that you are fishing fast. You're covering a bunch of water, and you're giving, you know, your bait in those places where the fish live as many times as you can. And you're just covering a bunch of water. And you, like I said, you got to be patient, because fishing in the fall is tough. You're not going to catch a ton of fish every day you go out in the fall. You're going to have tough days. So you got to be patient with it and trust the process. But if you cover enough water, put your bait in enough high percentage locations, hopefully using these few tips I gave you, it'll help you catch a few more fish this fall. So hopefully you guys learned something from this video. You know, I feel like it's a pretty informational video. Hopefully you guys can learn it and apply it to your body of water. But as always, appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit those likes, subscribes, drop the comments down below as always, and we'll see you guys next time.